Hello! We are on our way into February and I'm going to be bringing you 3 simple weekly layouts that you can use in your bullet journal. I usually like to do all of my weekly layouts in one go because it helps me when I plan to have all of the weekly spreads ready. I also spend a lot of time filming and I'd rather do it all at once rather than having to pull out and set up all of my filming equipment every week. This whole theme is inspired by Amanda Rach Lee, but this weekly spread I'm starting on is a layout that I see Amanda use a lot in her journal where she separates out the events and the tasks. I started with using the same font that I used at the beginning of the month to write February at the top center of the page. I also drew 2 red flowers on either side of the title. I'll be drawing 7 lanterns across the top of the page so that I have 1 lantern per day. I tried to make them all unique, and then I also drew a black oval in the center where I'll be writing the number for the date. After that, I started drawing the outline of the cow in the traditional Chinese clothing that I did at the beginning of the month. For this one, I also added a little hat on the top of the head. Later, I'll be drawing a box for the notes that the cow will kind of be balancing on top of, and I think it's so cute. Next, I drew out the boxes for the days of the week. I'm sectioning off the top portion for events and leaving the bottom for tasks. This is a new setup that I wanted to try out to see if I liked having that separation of events versus tasks. Although since we're still in quarantine and I'm not in college anymore, I don't know if I'll really have many events to write down. Like I mentioned a little earlier, I drew a border around where I'll be writing a notes section. I absolutely love how the cow looks like it's balancing on top of this section. Then I just used my pen to write the days of the week and the headers. On the lantern for Sunday, I decided it looked a little plain, so I was going to add lines across the lantern. I couldn't see where I was placing the lines very well when using the metal ruler though, and they ended up being a little uneven. I later switched to the clear ruler and that worked a lot better. I usually like to use my metal rulers because they have a cork on the bottom which helps to prevent the rulers from slipping when I'm drawing the lines. After, I started coloring all the lanterns red and yellow and then detailing using the gold and white pens. At the end, when the gold and white pen had dried, I went back in with a micron to go over some of the lines that were covered by the pens. I'm excited to see if I end up liking this type of layout or not. The next weekly layout is super simple and perfect for weeks that you have a lot going on. I had this idea that I wanted to make each section for a day its own hongbao, or a red envelope. In Chinese culture, red envelopes contain a monetary gift and are typically given on holidays and special occasions. So because of that, the only drawing on this page is this section in the upper left corner. I envisioned this cute scene of a little cow making a wish under some hanging lanterns. I started by doing the outline for the cow and made it holding a hongbao and then drew lanterns hanging around the cow. Then I started coloring in the cow and added a bow on its head. I stopped before adding the gold detailing because I wanted to do it all together at the end before giving it time to dry. Next, I sectioned all of the days by drawing an outline for the hongbao. I started with a large rectangle and then drew a smaller one on the inside, but I left enough space at the top to write the day of the week and the date. When coloring in the red envelope, I first used the fine tip side of the marker to outline the border of the section that I wanted to color red. Then I used the brush side to fill in the color. I really love how simple spreads like this can be, and it was really nice to have a break from doodling so many lanterns all over the previous pages. I added the gold detailing to my doodle in the corner, and then on each of the sections for the days of the week, I added a gold line and then wrote the day of the week at the top. In hindsight, I should have probably written the date first before drawing the line because I kind of smudged the ink a little bit. Also, I really need to get a pen with a finer tip if I want to write at my normal handwriting size. Overall, I really like how simple this weekly is, and I feel like it'll be a nice sized to-do list for each day. This will hopefully help me to be more productive and focus on a couple of tasks rather than writing too long of a to-do list. My last weekly spread is inspired by one that I saw on Instagram. As always, I will link my inspiration in the description down below, but I started by sectioning off the days of the week. I'm I'm going to be using red, yellow, and black for each of the section headers. I'll be using the white pen to write on top of the black marker, but I went ahead and started writing the days of the week for the other sections. After that, I started drawing lanterns hanging from strings down the sides of the pages. I mentioned this in my last video, but drawing and coloring these lanterns is very time consuming. I think the day that I filmed these weeklies, I was filming from around 3 p.m. to midnight, so around 8 or 9 hours? Maybe 8 because I took a break around dinner, but I was so tired afterwards. I think that filming can actually be very draining at times for me, like I was trying to play a game of Valorant with a friend afterwards and my brain simply couldn't focus. I do like how these spreads came out though, so I'd say that it was worth the time and effort. The last thing I doodled was one last cow in the corner of the notes section. It looks like the cow is waving hello from a window, and like all of the other ones, I think this cow is so cute. Then I just had to color in everything. I think overall this is probably one of the most detailed themes I've ever done in my bullet journal because of how much drawing and coloring there was. This was a special theme to me though because the year of the ox is my Chinese zodiac year. I've talked about it a lot with friends, but there are so many talented people that are also part of the 97 line. Besides all of my talented friends, some of my favorite famous 97 liners include Jungkook from BTS, Minghao, Dogyum, and Mingyu from 17, and Wang Yibo from the Untamed, among many others. Is it just me, or if you find a famous person is born the same year as you, that you automatically just love them a tiny bit more? Maybe it's just me. I also definitely just brought this up because I will never stop talking about BTS, 17, and the Untamed. Maybe I need to find some more interests. I have been getting back into watching more Asian dramas though, like I just finished watching The Flower of Evil and would definitely recommend it. I always welcome suggestions for dramas, so if you have any then let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, this spread was pretty much done after I finished coloring it in. I did go back and add some additional gold and white details to the lanterns and cow outfit, but I'm happy with how it turned out. I think my favorite thing about this page would definitely be the little cow in the corner of the notes section. Now with the final flip through, you can see my other weekly spreads for February. I'm really excited to use all of them for this month and to see which ones work well for me, but let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I think all of them have their own charms, so I can't decide which one I like best. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Happy Lunar New Year! Bye!